Finish, podcast hosted by Figure 8. I am Figure 8, and for a second time,
I'm Tag Smith.
he's with me. I'm sure we'll have you on again, but this will say part 2, I'm sure. And then if there's multiple parts the next time you're on, it'll also say part 1 and 2. Maybe I'll add A and B.
I think you should do A and B. I like that.
Just to really complicate it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
There's a letter and a number. You have to do algebra if you want to listen to the tag
Do
episodes.
Greek symbols after that.
Okay.
If there's another one.
Sweet. Yeah.
I think you should I think you should switch each time. I don't think you should say you have Coda on for 2. I don't think you should do Coda part 1 to part 2, and then tag part A, B. I think you should just go straight on to A, B.
I think it should be in binary as well. For one. Like when we get to like the 11th time we're doing one.
I don't know a whole lot.
Sure. Yeah.
One will just be 1 and 2, but it's in Comic Sans.
Let's record one and then put it in AI and release it in Spanish.
Ooh.
That's a thing people do. I learned.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, because then you can upload it to different markets.
Yeah,
You can
makes sense.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
What are we talking about again?
Accessibility. Welcome to Let Me Finish. We talked about sporadically. I jumped around to a lot of events. This time I kind of wanted to let you more so bring up things that I could have forgotten, because I've spent about I'm going to peel the curtain a little bit. It's not the past 7 weeks I've been discussing this. I'm recording these and then pre-releasing them, but I've been talking about it a lot.
Sure. Sure. I'm hearing what you're saying.
And I think I'm getting pretty close, based on my notes of where the story's headed next, at least the last little bit I have before. I'm calling Jimbo Chapter 2, man. I'm going to say that's really where things were shaking up. Because right around when Jimbo joined, Ned was not coming around so much. And Lai was about to join as well, because he joined in February of the same year. So he joined 1 month after Jimbo, and he was pissed when he learned that.
That he lost?
Yeah, that Jimbo was here first.
That sounds like Lime. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Because that graphic that we talked about in the last episode has Jimbo on it. It does not have Lai.
Oh.
Yeah.
That happened within that window, too. That's fun.
Yeah. So it was that. That means right when Jimbo joined, I was like, there's enough of us. Let's get it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We were still kind of, at least where I am in the story, I think we were still in the... That's crazy. No, I think we were, for the listeners, there was a strange noise outside, and me and Tag had a moment where we just made sure the other person wasn't scared, and neither of us were scared. So we moved on.
Starting now.
So I think during this time we were still the original group. I don't remember exactly when Andrew left. I could not find any. I searched his name and like going to college, and it never came up. I couldn't.
Sure.
Because anytime I've thought of something for the podcast, I've been able to search it, like a title or something on Facebook, and it goes back to fucking like 2011. Like
I think it would have been around. Like April, May.
I'm shaking my head because of how little I know.
Okay.
Like I don't even know what year it was. Like was he?
Maybe 2017.
Was he at the first show we threw? Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, did he leave before? Because he was at the show where OZ filmed a music video. It was the second time I had gone to a Swiggle show. It was me, Andrew, and Nick. And that was the place where I first met JC. Because I had met Timmy and Lai one time with Young Ned. I went to a show with Young Ned from a flyer I got during getting divorced. And then me and Young Ned went to a show. We couldn't talk to Swiggle, but we talked to Timmy and Lai. And then they gave us a flyer to their next show. And it might have been me, Logan, Andrew, and Nick went. And we stood in the lounge, the place with the kitchen, where we were just rapping in front of the kitchen. You remember that place we would throw all the shows at? It was like we had the store in the La Familia lounge.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that basement.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and just say that basement. That's what I'm going to remember it as. Let me just abbreviate that. Yeah, I absolutely remember that basement.
Yeah, so...
that thing was kind of... Not the store necessarily, but the shows there were kind of trashy, but like in a pretty fun way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Very punk rock.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking for.
Very, very grungy. But yeah, I think after that one time, I can't remember Andrew being at shows. So it was kind of, and to be honest, I have pictures with Chris at the Paris Theater once. But I think that was the time his schedule shifted too, and he was going back to school. So like right when things started, like we weren't doing much. He would have come to a ton of shit if we were doing better before.
Sure.
But I think very quickly it just became me, you, and Ned, and me and you specifically trying to go hang around Swiggle as often as I felt like we could. We were having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
We were in the background of a lot of music videos.
Yeah. And again, it gave us something to do. So we're just at home trying to do whatever else, working on music and stuff. But
that's true. We were like it. We tried to go out. I felt like just to show face, just to be like, hey, learn who we are.
Right.
But also like we were making a lot of music for. I don't think how much came out is representative ever of how much we're making. But we were still doing a lot back then.
Well, it was at a point where like I think more consistently we would make something and not. Sorry, I'm just waiting for that.
What was the model of that bike, do you think?
I have no idea. Probably a Harley Davidson, something. It was very loud.
All right.
But there's a lot more. Instead of we made more bad stuff. There was stuff that ended up getting thrown away instead of a lot of times things don't get made if they're going to be like bad.
Yeah, sometimes we forget about a song, but we don't actively throw them away. We were throwing stuff away back then.
Yeah. There's things that sit on the sideline and we're like, fuck it, B-sided or whatever we're doing.
Sometimes we delete stuff we put out. We very rarely delete stuff that we haven't. You know what I mean? There's something we look back on and we're like, oh,
sure.
Hold on. Yeah, today on the Codcast, we went back and watched some early Fish videos, and I was like, hey, Patreon watchers, you're about to be the only people that can see these videos. we learned that here together today. Yeah, do you remember? I'm just going to say it. Here's a fun little game. I'm going to say the names of some of the songs I've uncovered, and you let me know if you remember it.
Yeah, I'll do my utmost.
Okay. May contain nuts.
Yeah, I got to name that one.
Yep.
I remember that one. You were like, throw a name out there, and I think we sat just tossing random shit.
Loved it.
And I went with May Contain Nuts.
Dairy Queen?
Yeah, I remember Dairy Queen.
With the homies.
That one I don't remember. Like, I can't hear it in my head. I'm sure it's one of those ones where if I hear it, I'll immediately be like...
Lucy Lou.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I remember Lucy Lou.
Fuck. Vampire?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Very specifically.
That's crazy right there. Fuck, man. There was like this, do you remember For Portland? Do you remember Good Will Hunting?
Yeah.
Can you remember what it sounded like?
Not off the top of my head.
I have it.
Yeah.
I've learned I have almost everything from Lisa's garage.
Fantastic.
For some reason, it still fucking exists, and I was going through it, and I was like, yo. Do you know there's only one song from that era that actually got released and is still out, like, on the Fish page? It's early on the Fish page, but it got used for that.
No, what?
Is the song Andrew produced that I got the guy, my friend in Michigan, on before he got locked up, Evidence.
Oh.
That we made so early on. That's still out on Spotify. That's the only remnant. Now that I've been running through piecing stuff together, I was like, wait, is this song... This is the
Still
only one I can
exists?
find that's actually out. You can find some of our horrible early shit on the internet if you look hard enough. I'm not going to lie.
Sure.
It's out there, and I have no control over it. I don't have those accounts anymore.
Just start flagging them.
One day we will atone for those sins, I assume.
No. Just start flagging them as.
I've sent. My friend.
Okay, my bad.
Oh,
I didn't mean to rub salt in the wound.
Every day that Coda has access to something in particular, I'm failing. Every day that he can pull this thing up and haunt me with it. Every time they don't respond to my emails, God fucking damn it. Yeah, it's been 5 years of me trying to get one thing in particular down, but it is hard to erase your internet footprint.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I've tried to get the video down you brought up at the end of last episode, and I can't. it's out there.
Fantastic.
It absolutely.
Love it.
Do you remember Channel?
Yeah, I remember Channel.
Channel came out. Channel was on our YouTube until 2 months ago when it was removed and put on Patreon. Yeah, it's on my YouTube. I just realized 2 months ago and went to take it down, and we made it available on our Patreon. But were you around when I made that? Was that during that time?
Yeah.
And that carried over because that was the song I played Swiggle the first night I met him in the car. Yeah. And I remember him being like, hey, you said Lord of Flies? That's tight. Like, he listened to the whole song and was like, there's something. There's got to be something in here I can like. And then were you at the video that day?
I can't remember. What did you do in the video?
We were at the liquor store. I remember Gareth was there.
No, I was not there. I think I was working or something like that.
Do you remember that?
You going to the liquor store?
Yeah,
I do remember the video
coming out.
yes,
No, you're in parts of it. You and Gareth beat the shit out of the TV in the beginning.
That was at that house, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, we shot scenes at the house too.
So I am in it, but I guess not the liquor store.
You weren't at the liquor store. You were in the other scenes and under the bridge with me when we were under the bridge. Me and you were wearing sunglasses, standing underneath that Troutdale Bridge for some reason.
Fantastic. Where were we making people solve riddles to cross it?
I don't know. There was also a scene of me standing next to you and someone who shall not be named with a rat on my shoulder in the woods.
As one does.
As one fucking does, I guess. Yeah, that was out until 2 months ago.
I'm bummed. You still got it saved somewhere, eh?
It's it's on our Patreon right now. If you want to see us do some terrible, terrible things to the internet, come on down.
If you want to see our shame, if you want to see something that haunts
for as
us.
little as $2 a month, you can help to find.
Fantastic.
Yeah, this is the widely released thing that only exists so we can promote the paid one. Go subscribe to Patreon. Do you remember anything else from that time period? Like, was there any song that you remember us making, even if it didn't come out?
That like stands out in particular.
Anything.
I mean, I like Bloody Knees. Like that was always a really fun thing to look back on. I don't hate that song still.
Do you remember performing it on TV?
Ooh, yeah, barely. That was a weird one.
Yeah, I talked about that a little bit. The fact that it was like one of the few, maybe to this day, one of maybe 3 clean songs I have total. Like, we've made clean versions, but that one was recorded clean, essentially. And that was how we performed that on television. That's why we were asked to do that. As Swiggle looked at the gang and said, I have 2 clean songs with these people. Come on down. Tags invited.
Which is wild, but it actually makes a lot of sense.
That was such a wild time. That was really cool. Like, for as corny as it felt, just standing there with like 3 fading cameras, like we were in a soap opera. That was that was a good time. Way of
putting it. Thank you.
I can't remember. There was another song you produced. I feel like that came out. Like, I think you produced Good Will Hunting and you produced Lucy Lou.
Did I produce Good Will Hunting?
Hell yeah, you did. I went and listened to it. It's horrible. It is horrid, bro. It is.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for me.
From top to bottom, it's a travesty. Pretty much all of them are. I ran through most of them. Like, there's tiny bits where you're like, ha, that's clever. Can we rap over Star Wars?
No, that's fun.
No, that a lot of stuff happened. I can't remember exactly, but everybody's kind of told the story a little bit and we all tell it similarly, but do you remember where the fuck the name came from?
Well, I remember you had like a little rhyme about it, right? I don't know if I do.
Yes.
That's where I remember is you had some rhyme involving it and you just thought that it sounded fun in the rhyme. I don't even think it's anything you like wrote like specifically.
I felt like we were spitballing for a really long time about the group
and then
name.
That's what kind of broke it.
Yeah, that's how I've always told it, is that we didn't have a name. We were coming up with one.
I guess I remember the resolution more than like the how we got to it.
Also, Gabby and Gareth were in the rap group at that time. We were joking around. Like when we came up with the name, it was when Gareth was intended to rap in it, so it was for sure a joke. All right, and we're getting to the end here. There will for sure be another part with my guy Tag. Thank you for coming on again.
Maybe part A would be.
Absolutely. Before you interrupt me or tag, let me finish.